Sabihan niyo ako, ha?
Sige po, sir.
Pero as of this moment, hindi naman. Okay. Wait lang, Dave. Constant or hindi? Okay. Ako na lang talaga yan. Mhm. Hi, AD. How are you?
Okay lang po, sir.
Are you still in your province?
Yes po.
That's life.
Ano po, sir?
That's life. Pero kailan ka mabalik? Namimiss ka na daw niya ni. Basta yung sinabi mo sa akin, namimiss ka na daw niya eh.
Tsaka na, sir. Pag, ano na, fully healed na. Eh.
Sabihin mo sa kanya sa Canada. It takes time. And okay, that's nice. So sige, since it's already 11:31, maybe we can start. Kindly open your camera so that I can see each one of these. Are we done discussing all the chapters one? Not yet.
Hindi pa po, sir, yung sa cost terminologies po.
Oh my God, huli na pala tayo. Pero sige, that's okay. Sige, start tayo with our discussion and i-continue pa lang yung discussion for continuous compounding. Again, kindly confirm if tapos na tayo solving problem number 2 for a compound interest. Yes, sir. Not yet.
Tapos na po, sir.
Okay, that's good. Awesome. Sige, ituloy lang natin yung ating discussion all about continuous compounding. So, napakadali lang naman intindihin ng continuous compounding. So, continuous compounding, it is based on the assumption that cash payment occurs once per year, but compounding is continuously throughout the year. Meaning to say, ang continuous compounding is, kumbaga sa Tagalog, AD, you have to ask your classmates about the topics that we discuss. Kasi you cannot understand the next topic if you don't come up with the previous topic. Okay, AD? Now, hindi mo siya
Okay po, sir.
maiintindihan. Pero you ask your classmates, you ask your friends about the previous topic. And if walang tutulong sa'yo, imposible naman. Hindi. If you have questions, you feel free to ask. I'll discuss to you. Okay?
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay, sure. Continuous compounding, it is based on the assumption that cash payment occurs once per year, but compounding is continuously throughout the year. Meaning to say, ang continuous compounding, ito yung payment or ito yung transactions na walang hanggang katapusan ng ating pagbabayad, paghuhulog ng pera, or kumbaga, yung transaction natin is walang hanggang katapusan. Kaya nga, continuously compounding. And syempre, di ba, in reality, kapag lagi tayo naglalabas ng pera or walang hanggang katapusan yung pagbabayad natin, it is pain. Di ba masakit yon na every time when we encounter transactions na walang hanggang katapusan, that is pain. That's why, ang formula natin, ang R natin is equals to I pa din, is pain. And madaling maintindihan if the problem is continuously compounding. Sinasabi sa problem, laging may keyword na it is continuous, compounding continuously or continuous compounding. Madali lang yung ma-determine. Laging mayroong state sa problem. Lazan, could you DM me or PM me the link of the meet? Mag-join lang ako sa other device.
Okay po.
Okay. Now, for example, number 1, an amount of $2,050 is deposited in a bank that is paying an annual interest rate of 2.1% that is compounded continuously. So mayroon agad tayong keywords, compounded continuously. Automatically, kapag may ganyan, so yun yung ating may encounter na formula. And find the balance after 3 years. So mayroon tayong continuously compounding here. Now, Nazel, hindi siya yung link.
Wait lang po, sir. Ay, sir, sabi po pala nung iba ay medyo putol-putol daw po.
Putol-putol.
Ang
Pero ato na, hindi talaga pwedeng putol. Sa inyo, Lazel, putol-putol.
Medyo po, pero yung volume po niya okay lang, pero medyo nagpuputol-putol po.
Ano nagpuputol-putol?
Yung sa pag-imik niyo po.
Ito, putol-putol. Nagpuputol-putol pa.
Medyo po, sir.
Sige. I'll try to other device. Wait lang. Ayan. Try natin pag ganito, ano? Halimbawa, ganito yung aking, ano. Sabihin niyo sa akin, pag, Lazel, pag nagpuputol-putol pa in 3 minutes. Pero as of now, mas okay ka. Ganun pa
Opo,
rin.
sir. Okay naman po.
Okay na, Lazel, kindly interrupt me again by speaking if nagpuputol-putol ka. Nagpuputol-putol ata ako. Lazel, naririnig mo ako.
Yes po, rinig po, sir.
Nagpuputol-putol. Not yet. No, no, no.
Okay po sa akin.
Sa iba, oh, please help me guys. Goods na hindi aid, aid sa iyo. Yan, pag may mga naka...
Okay. Okay lang po, sir.
Okay, sabihan niyo ako ha, by speaking, if nagpuputol-putol. Talaga po pwede na mag-give. Now, sabi dito, find the balance after 3 years. So, compounded continuously. Now, when we are dealing with our cash flow diagram, wait nga, when we are dealing with the cash flow, when we are dealing with this problem, again, given and cash flow diagram. Sige nga, anong perspective natin dito? To the bank. Diba? Bank is our perspective here. So from the given, in 2050, what do you think? It is a present worth or a future worth?
Present po, sir.
Present worth. Now, sa cash flow diagram, so 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this one is present, I is 2.1% that is compounded continuously and I is equals to 3 years. Our required is yung future worth. Now, in 2050, what do you think? It is an upward arrow or a downward arrow?
Downward po.
Are you sure?
Upward po.
Upward po.
Upward arrow? Sure kayo? Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Oh, 7 tips. Hello guys, is it an upward or a downward?
Upward po.
Upward po.
Upward po.
Bakit upward?
Deposited po.
Deposited po sa bank.
Nag-deposit to. This one is an upward arrow because the bank is naka-receive kasi someone deposited into the bank. And now, could you confirm na putol-putol pa rin ako?
Hindi po sa akin, sir.
Hindi naman po.
Yan, hindi na. Lazel, dun sa mga nagsabi sa'yo nagpuputol-putol, pa-confirm naman kung okay mo. Hey guys, AD nagpuputol-putol sa'yo.
Hindi po.
Okay.
Sir,
Hey Paul,
Sir, tanong ko lang po. Doon po, pagdating po doon sa interest po, di ka po nakalagay dito ito 2.1%
ay 2 points
po.
ba? Sorry naman, mapapatawad
Ka-
na ako.
Hindi sir, kala ko po ay ano, yung kumbaga hindi na po isasama yung mga ano, yung point.
Okay. Kasama pa din. Okay, sa CV. Now, yung future value natin, alam natin na sa year 3, is it an upward or a downward arrow? O 7 pips.
Upward pa din.
Upward pa rin.
Upward pa rin po. Upward.
Pa rin. So, this one is an upward arrow. Okay na tayo. Interest natin dito is 2.1%. For our solution, so, continuously compounding is F is equals to P raised to IM. So, substitute lang naman. So, 2,050 times the quantity of E raised to 0.021 times 3 years. So, what is the value of our future growth? By speaking, kindly help me to define the answer. Yung pag-smith natin, 2 decimal place na sa dulo. Alam niyo naman yung ibigat, yan ay yung chip LM. Anong dulo nyo? Zero. So, yung iba,
Ito po, sir.
02 din po.
yun. So, 2,183.3502 dollars. Again, take note of the currencies. Na ang currency natin is nakadami. Question, pagdating dito sa ganitong problems, okay tayo, di ba? Madali lang kapag continuously compounding. Goods. Okay, guys.
Yes po.
Yes, po.
Proceed tayo with the problem number 2. So, determine the accumulated amount on 50,000 pesos loan made for 5 years at 8% that is compounded continuously. So, for our given in the cash flow diagram. Ano, 50,000 is determine the accumulated amount. Di kapag accumulated, meaning to say, kaya natin i-determine that the direct part of it is a future value. So meaning to say, that the present value is 50,000, N natin is 5 years, and I is 8%. That is compounded continuously. Meaning to say, the formula is plain. For the cash flow diagram, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the perspective? Is it from the borrower or from the lender?
Wala pong sinabi, sir.
Wala pong sinabi. Meaning to say, we have the freedom to choose if it is an upward or a downward arrow in terms of 50,000 and the future birth. So ngayon, we have the freedom to choose. Except for the 50,000 is here and the future birth is here and I is 8%. Now, for the solution, ganun lang ulit, F is equal to 3. Madali lang sadya kapag continuously compounded. Kaya huwag kayo magtataka kung bakit madali. 50,000 E raised to 0.08 times 5 years, then that is equals to what? Anong dulo? $88. Yung sa iba,
88 din po.
88 din po.
so 88. So, 74,000, that is 591.3448 pesos. May question pagdating dito sa ating continuous compounding? May question kayo? Naiintindihan?
Opo, sir.
Po.
Question? May question kayo? Dali pa yan, syempre. Question? Good. Sige. Continue lang tayo ng discussion sa ating chapter 1. Ituloy lang natin muna yung saan tayo natapos, saan tayo magsusimula ulit sa cost terminologies. Tama ga ako?
Yes po, cost terminologies po.
Hapyawan lang natin, mabilis lang naman itong intindihin. Yung all about the cost terminologies. Hindi ko na masyadong i-detail yung discussion, pero papahapyawan lang natin para tayo ay makasabay sa ating discussion. Kasi yung ibang section ay, yeah, they advance sila compared sa inyo. Ay, hindi ko alam kung bakit hindi kayo, nahuhuli kayo. ED, your manual is nasa kaklase mo ha.
Opo, sir. Nasabi naman po, sir. Thank you po.
Wait lang. Mahanap ko lang ang chapter. Again, habang di ko pa pinetlasan itong aking step skills. Nga pala, pag ako may papasolve, huwag nyo namang i-chat GPT. Para lang magkaroon ng sagot, nagsa-search ng tanong sa internet. And then, ang tinanungan pa yung chat GPT, ang malala, nung tinawag ko at chat GPT ang sagot, hindi naman na-explain sa akin kasi mali ang, basta, mali sa chat GPT pero tama ang sagot. Alam mo yung di ko siya tinuro, pero tama, other way nga naman siya. Which is ituturo ko pa lang. Hindi naman na-explain sa akin. Well, ayun lang, be aware dun sa mga i-chat GPT nyo. Even if parang fast, paano pag pina-explain ko sa inyo? Diba? Iba ka mamaya sa exam, hindi magalit yung kay chat GPT kasi bawal mag-chat GPT during the exam. Ayun lang. It's okay if your answer is wrong. Do not uh, seek assistance to chat GPT. Kaya nga tayo nag-aaral. No? Yun lang. Doon sa mga tao na mag-chat GPT, awan nyo na. Huwag lang mag-chat GPT. Okay lang sa akin ang mali. No? Hindi na kayo nagkakamali kasi napupunta. Kasi yung tama nga ang sagot mo, chat GPT mo nga. Di mo naman naintindihan. Ang nakakaya, nung pinag-explain ko pa sa klase, hindi naman masagot. Tapos nung pinag-texting ng kaklase sa GC, hindi rin naman masagot. Ay, ayun, sayang lang din ang tamang sagot kung hindi nyo rin naman mapapanindigan. Pag naman chat GPT, kaya nga tayo nag-aaral. Mas, hindi, pag hindi ko rin na alam, ganito, saka tayo mag-chat GPT pag hindi ko rin na-solve. No? Hanggat nasa-solve ko, hanggat naiintindihan ko, hanggat kaya kong ituro, walang chat GPT. Pero pag may tinanong kayo sa akin at di ko na alam, hindi ko alam ang sagot, sige, pwede tayo ng chat GPT. Okay? Sir, please naman, kaaway niyo muna sa chat GPT pagdating sa discussion. Ha? Huwag mo magagalit, huwag mo na maging bida-bida para lang makakuha ng sagot. Pangit yun, pangit. Di ka i-dus.
Opo, sir.
Baka mamaya si AD, pag ako'y nagtanong din himala, may sagot. No, tama agad siya yung count. No? Ay, baka naman sinahipit yung AD. Now, speaking of cost terminologies, there are fixed cost, variable cost, and the incremental cost. When we say fixed costs, are those unaffected by changes in activity level over a feasible range of operations for the capacity or capability available. When we say fixed cost, it is constant expenses. Constant yung expenses doon sa isang project, equipment, or product. Those are unaffected. Meaning to say, hindi siya connected, which are not connected. Hindi siya connected sa which is not affected or not connected on output or activity level. Wala siyang kinalaman sa production. Kumbaga, kahit bumili ka ng isang produkto na ito, fixed siya, wala naman siya kinalaman sa production. Example ng fixed cost. Ano ba yung mga example ng fixed cost? Yung rent. No, those are considered as a fixed cost. Hindi naman po pwedeng in one monthly, di ba, may binabayaran tayong rent. Yes, sir, possible po mag-increase ng rent. However, syempre, may future notifications naman. Hindi naman, hindi naman po pwede in one month, nun, tumatakbo yung isang buwan, meron tayong rent na pinag-usapan, sabihin sa akin ni AD, Sir Kim, in 16 days, tataasan ko yung rent mo ha. Di ba wala namang ganyan? Wala namang nangyari sa ganun sa totoong buhay. So rent is considered as a fixed cost. Yung interest, may pinapatong natin dun sa nagpapautang. Halimbawa, may agreement kami ni AD, o AD, sige, papautangan kita today ng 5,000. In 10 days, ibabalik mo sa akin ng 15,000 ha. Hindi naman po pwede na sabihin ko kay AD in 6 years, o AD, bayaran, tataasan ko ang interest ha in 6 days, di ba walang gayon? So, fix yung aking interest na ipinaputang or expenses doon sa isang situations. The next one is a variable cost, are those associated with an operation that varies in total with the quantity of output or other measures of activity level. Ibig sabihin ng variable cost, nagbabari yung cost, nagbabari yung cost, and ito is connected naman sa activity level, connected in an output for activity level. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Halimbawa, si AD, may business. Na-miss ko lang si AD, kaya laging si AD ang example ko ngayon. Halimbawa, si AD, may business. Ako ay trabahador na AD. Sabi sa akin ni AD Obriones, ang ating production is 2,000 units per day. Ngayon, gusto kong pahirapan kita. Ngayon, kailangan mo ngayon makapag-produce ng 4,000 units per day. How? How it is possible in terms of the variable cost? Siyempre, in order for me to achieve 4,000 units per day, kinakailangan ko ng additional manpower. Kinakailangan ko ng additional machine in order to produce 4,000 units. Nagbabari yung ating magiging cost or expenses based on the activity level or output. The next one is the incremental cost. Is the additional cost or additional revenue that results from increasing the output of the system by one or more units. An incremental cost is considered also as a variable cost. Kumbaga, ito ay additional cost lamang. Halimbawa, pag nag-increase na tayo ng isang production, kailangan natin ng additional machines, additional manpower. Pag tayo nagkakaroon ng expansions of the plant, halimbawa, area, syempre, sa area na yon, una, yung lupa, additional cost yun. Pangalawa, additional construction and cost. Those are considered as incremental cost or variable cost as well. The direct, indirect, overhead, and the standard cost. When we say direct cost, are costs that can be reasonable, measured, and allocated to a specific output or work activity. Allocated na, mismo allocated to a specific output or work activity. Which ito is not connected. Hindi na siya connected yung sa activity level or output. Ano ba yung mga specific output or work activity? Halimbawa, the materials, yung mga materials na kinakailangan to make a pair of scissors would be a direct cost. Another examples of a direct cost, ano ba yung mga specific output or work activity? Yung mga labor and material costs can be considered as a direct cost. The next one is indirect costs. Indirect costs are costs that are difficult to allocate to a specific output or work activity. Meaning to say, itong indirect cost is wala siyang kinalaman doon sa activity level or an output. Kumbaga, ang mga indirect costs ay or ito yung mga expenses kung saan na wala siyang kinalaman sa example, sa pagrara ng planta. Ano ba yung mga walang kinalaman or indirect cost? Yung mga office supplies. Ang office supplies is considered as an indirect cost. Yes, kinakailangan to ng management. However, wala naman siyang kinalaman sa production ng planta. Kahit man ang office supply, makakapag-produce ng ng output. Even po ng office supplies. Yung mga telephone, di ba? They are difficult to allocate to a specific output or work activity or phone. Those are considered as an indirect cost. Kumbaga, wala silang kinalaman sa activity level or an output ng isang product, situations, or equipment. The overhead cost consists of a plant operating costs that are not direct labor or indirect material cost. Actually, ang overhead cost can be considered as a fixed cost and a variable cost or direct cost or indirect cost. Kumbaga, ang overhead cost sa planta or sa business or sa isang industry, they are considered as an indirect cost lang din. Kumbaga, they are difficult to allocate to a specific output or work activity. And the last one is the standard cost, or planned cost per unit of output that are established in advance of actual production or service delivery. So some typical uses of the standard cost are estimating future manufacturing costs, measuring operating performance by comparing actual cost per unit with the standard cost, repairing goods and products or services requested by customers, and establishing the value of work in process and finishing inventories. Meaning to say, ang standard costs are planned costs. Sa industry, based on my experience, we always consider the standard cost napakahalaga na lagi namin i-consider or ilagi namin involve in standard cost. For example, when I am dealing with my project, halimbawa lang, tunay naman to, installations of pump. So sir, paano po natin maire-relate yung standard cost or planned cost? Siyempre, meron kaming project on about the installations of pump. Paano po yung planned cost? Meron kami tinatawag na BOM or Bill of Materials. No, sa Bill of Materials, for the installations of pump, yung mga contractor magpo-provide or mag-enumerate ng mga expenses. Halimbawa, siyempre, pump. Pinakailangan ng pump for the installation. Yung mga equipment na gagamitin sa pump. Yung mga manpower na gagawa na mag install na installation ng pump. Yung mga accessories or mga other parts that is involved in the installation ng pump, i-enumerate mo na yan. Siyempre, through that enumeration, makakapag-cap up tayo with the total cost or the total amount for the installation of pump. Now, through that total cost for the installation of pump, we can determine how much is the planned cost for the installation ng pump. Siyempre, sir, meron naman po kayong existing, bakit hindi na lang po yung gawin? Yes, may existing installation ng pump. Meron din tayong tinatawag new installation ng pump. Hindi naman po pwede lagi tayong mag-derive or mag-base doon sa existing of installation ng pump. Kailangan natin ng installation ng pump. Paano? Hahanap tayo ng mga bagong contractor. And then, we will evaluate based on the total cost that is being generated during the existing versus the new installational cost kapag bago. And ito-compare natin. And then through that comparison, we can determine what will be the alternative or what will be the condition kung existing ba or kung sino ang gagamitin natin, kung sino yung pipiliin natin kung sa existing or sino through the help of the BOM based on the planned cost. So dito, sa cash cost versus book cost, madaling i-determine lang to para wag na masyado natin ilagay-lagay yun. Ang cash cost, a cost that involves payment of cash is called cash cost. Basta may kinalaman sa payment ng pera, mismong cash, that is considered as a cash cost. However, the result in a cash flow to distinguish it from one that does not involve a cash transaction, not involved and is reflected in accounting system is a non-cash cost or a book cost. So pag walang involvement ng cash transactions, and reflected siya sa accounting system that is considered as a book cost. Kaya nga book, di ba, parang nasa libro, yung accounting system, may mga Excel sheet, may mga files, yung mga files na yun is considered as a book cost. Now, sunk cost. A sunk cost is one that has occurred in the past and has no relevance to estimates of future costs and revenues related to alternative course of actions. So thus, a sunk cost is common to all alternatives and which is not part of the future or prospective cash flow and this can be disregarded in an engineering economic analysis. For instance, sunk costs are non-refundable cash outlays, such as earnest money on a house or money spent on his passport. Meaning to say, ang sunk cost, therefore considered as an expenses kung kumbaga, in a present condition, bang halaga ng isang product or equipment. In the future, wala na siyang halaga. Kumbaga, those are considered as a non-refundable cost. Sir, ano pong pinakamagandang example? Halimbawa, si AD, no, magkakaroon ng concert sa BSU, sa Alangilan. Siyempre, magpapatiket si AD. Para mapanood natin si AD, para mapanood natin si AD kumaldag, siyempre, kinakailangan natin bumili ng ticket. So, yung ticket ni AD today, may halaga siya kasi hindi pa naman nangyayari yung pagkaldag ni AD. Katapos kumaldag ni AD, do you think we can refund the ticket? Sasabihin ni Migs, ay sir, hindi po ako satisfied sa pagkaldag. Ibabalik ko po yung ticket. I-refund ko. No. Di ba? In reality, hindi, kahit tayo hindi na-satisfy sa pagkaldag ni AD, still wala ng value yung ticket niya after his concert. Those are considered as sunk cost. Yung expenses or yung cost na ibinigay natin doon sa isang equipment or sa isang product or situations. Meaning to say, in the end, after that, in the future pala, or pagkatapos na, hindi na siya refundable or hindi mo na magagamit. Example, sabi ni AD, sir, yung po bang ex ko is considered as a sunk cost? Yes. Kasi hindi nyo naman marerefund na yung pagmamahal for his or for her. Diga? So, pag hindi na-refund yung pagmamahal, those are considered as his sunk cost. Tama ba ako, AD?
Opo, sir.
Yan. So, kaya sasabihin niyo sa mga ex ninyo, kayo ay considered na lang as a sunk cost. Hindi ko na kayang i-refund ang pagmamahal para sa mga ex ko. Next one is the opportunity cost. It is incurred because of the use of the limited resources, such that the opportunity to use those resources to monetary advantage in an alternative use is forgone. And lastly, is the life cycle cost. So in an engineering practice, the term life cycle cost is often encountered. This refers to a summations of all costs related to a product, structure, system, or service during its lifespan. Parang itong continuous compounding siya diniscuss natin earlier, which is yung binabayaran natin doon sa isang equipment or certain contrast or for a certain transactions is hindi continuously, walang hangganan. Halimbawa, yung sasakyan, syempre dapat nagraran ha. Yung sasakyan ninyo, ang car ninyo is considered as a life cycle cost. Kasi every day, as the time goes by, habang nagraran yan at ginagamit natin yan, maraming mga expenses na kinoconsider tayo. For example, yung gas, di ba? Yung gas, meron tayong mga expenses, gas, maintenance, yung mga repair. So walang hanggang katapusan yung pagbabayad natin doon sa ating sasakyan. And that is considered as a life cycle cost. Now, in terms of the general economic environment, madali lang natin i-consider. The first one is the consumer and producer's good. How can we distinguish it? Consumer goods and services are those products or services that are directly used by people to satisfy their want. Kumbaga, ito yung ginagamit or pangangailangan ng tao. Example is yung food, clothing, homes, those are considered as a consumer goods. Pero ano ba yung producer goods and services? Are used to produce consumer goods and services or the other producer goods. Now, one of the examples ng producer's good is machine. Ang producer's goods, sila yung nagpo-produce ng pangangailangan ng tao. Halimbawa, hotdog. Gusto nila din ng hotdog. Ang hotdog is considered as consumer's good. Pero paano ba makakapag-produce ng hotdog? Gamit ang machine. Hindi naman sasabihin, hindi naman pwede na ang hotdog is galing kay Lord, nasa ilalim ng lupa. Hindi naman ano. So in order for us to manufacture hotdog or produce hotdog, kinakailangan natin ng machine. And that machine is considered as a producer's good or services. So ganun lang yung pinagkaiba the consumer goods and services into the producer's good and services. Speaking of the necessities, luxuries, and demand, so goods and services may be divided into two types, the necessities and the luxuries. Obviously, These terms are relative because most goods and services, what a person consider a necessity may be considered a luxury by another. Hindi mayapat luxury kay AD, dapat for everyone is luxury. Hindi. Pwede kay AD na considered niya yung isang produkto is necessities, pero sa iba is a luxury. But how can we determine whether it is a necessities or luxuries? Necessities are those products or services that are required to support human life and activities and will be purchased in somewhat the same quantity even though the price varies considerably. Ibig sabihin ng necessities are required. Mismong kinakailangan. Kinakailangan mismo ng tao. Kumbaga, hindi mabubuhay ang taong ito kung wala itong mga bagay nito. No? Example, food, water, those are considered as a necessities. Without it, hindi mabubuhay ang tao. Pero, sir, paano niyo po nasabi na kanina po na si AD, necessity sa kanya, ay iba is luxury? Kasi meron tayong dalawang factor na kinoconsider. The first one muna is the environment. Siyempre, nakadepende yan sa environment. At pangalawa, yung status of life. Status of life or yung kanyang estado ng buhay, kung gaano siyang kayaman or kahirap. Kaya nga minsan, kay AD, pinakailangan siya, pero sa iba, hindi naman. Yun yung tinatawag natin luxuries, are those product or services that are desired. Meaning to say, kagustuhan lamang ng isang tao and will be purchased if money is available after the required necessities have been obtained. Kumbaga, kung ano man ang estado ng buhay ninyo, kung saan man kayong environment, still considered yan as a luxury. Example, yung mga alahas. No, yung mga alahas ninyo, hindi kagustuhan nyo lang yan. Kahit wala kayong alahas, mabubuhay kayo. Ano nga? So, yun yung necessities and luxuries. Sige nga, yung education, what do you think? It is a necessity or a luxury? Considering, without considering the environment and the status of your life. Do you think education is a necessity or a luxury? Kay Joyce Mojica, it is a luxury. Totoo yun. Sa inyo, is it a necessity or a luxury? O 7 people. Naririnig niyo ba?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po.
Nagpuputol-putol pa ako, Lazel.
Di na po.
Yun nga. So, hindi na ako magdadala ng laptop next time. So, okay lang sa laptop. Sige. Oh, what do you think? Is the education is a luxury or a necessity? Baka mamaya magpa-differentiate ako sa exam. What do you think? Yung 7, sagot ka na eh. Hindi kayo ganyan.
Sir, pwedeng ano po, necessities.
Bakit may pwede? Ibig sabihin possible doon with the luxuries.
Opo. Pero ang sagot ko po ay necessities.
Necessities to, no? So, syempre, kinakailangan ng tao para mabuhay to. Baka mamaya, dahil bobo ka, hindi ka kumain. Diga? Possible. Kailangan mo ito. Paano kumain ng tama? Hindi ka? Kinakailangan ng educations. Eh, singin Algenanet, what do you think? Is it a necessity or a luxury? Yung pagmamahal or love. Ano para sa iyo ang love? You don't have to judge, ha? O necessity. Okay, Neil Algen is necessity. Kay Roma Santa kaya, what do you think is love? Necessity? For you, is it a necessity or a luxury?
Necessity po.
Bakit kaya kinakailangan ni Roma Santa ng love? Baga hindi daw mabubuhay si Roma Santa ng walang pagmamahal. Bakit Roma Santa?
Kailangan po ng support system.
Kailangan ng support system. Kasi di nga. Si Paul, what do you think? Ang love for you, kanya-kanya tayo ng perspective. Kinakailangan mo bang hindi ka ba mabubuhay nang wala ang love? Or it is a luxury?
Sir, sino gampol?
Ikaw na, kung sumagot Robert Paul.
Ano necessity, sir?
Necessity, kasi ang love naman in general, self-love. family love, romantic love, no? Kailangan natin syempre ng pagmamahal. Pero be specific. Ulitin natin kay Panopio. Be specific in terms of love. Love to your classmates. Kinakailangan mo bang mahalin ng kaklase mo? Or luxury na lang siya?
Ah, necessity po yun, sir. Ano, kung love as a classmate lang po para may matularan din.
So tama nga naman. Ano. Para nga naman may matularan, kinakailangan ni Paul ng pagmamahal sa kanyang kaklase. Kasi pag hindi niya binigyan ng pagmamahal si Roma Santa, tama ga ako, hindi ka makakapangat sa kanya. Tama ba yung sinasabi niyo, Paul?
Tama po, sir. Tama.
Yun. So, 07, tatandaan ninyo, kinakailangan niyo ng pagmamahal sa kaklase para daw kayo ay makakalmanan. Hindi lamang sa ipon, pati sa ibang subjects. And that's true. Siyempre naman, pag hindi mo naman binigyan ng pagmamahal si Roma Santa, di ba? Hindi kayo makakakopya kay Roma Santa. Ako sabihin sa inyo ni Roma Santa, bakit kita pa kukopyahin? Sinabi mo sa icon na ang love for your classmate is a luxury. Dapat mahalin mo ko. Kasi kapag hindi mo ko minahal, hindi kita makakopyahin. So, kailangan pala, para makapangopya, kailangan ng pagmamahal. Pero may tunay nga naman. So, ganun talaga yung perspective ni Paul, which is true. And now, let us talk about the demand. There is a quantity of a certain commodity that is bought at a certain price at a given place and time. When we say demand sa Tagalog, di ba? Ito yung demand. Halimbawa ay may bibili ng milk tea. Kung gaano kadami yung may kagustuhang bumili ng milk tea, those are the demand. Or gaano kadaming tumatangkilik ng isang produkto, equipment, or situations. There are three types of a demand: the elastic, inelastic, and the unitary demand. So elastic demand occurs when a decrease in selling price results in greater proportion of increase in sales. When we say inelastic demand, occurs when a decrease in the selling price produces less than proportionate increase in sales, and the unitary demand is when the mathematical product of volume and prices is constant. So para mas maintindihan natin, let's take a look at this general price and demand relationship. Sabi dito, for all goods and services, there is a relationship between price that must be paid and the quantity that will be demanded or purchased. So as you can see in the figure, as the selling price daw is nag-i-increase, there will be a less demand. Ito naman, for the product, as the selling price is decreased, the demand will increase. Ano bang ibig sabihin natin dito? Tingin tayo sa figure. Siyempre, diga, kapag tumataas ang presyo ng isang produkto, kakaunti ang tumatangkilik ng demand ng produkto or kakaunti ang willing bumili ng isang produkto. Kapag binaba natin yung presyo, pag binaba natin yung presyo, possible tataas yung demand. Halimbawa sa kape, labanan ni Coffee ko at saka ni Nescafe. Halimbawa lang ari ha. Ngayon naman, kung si Coffee ko is 10 pesos at si Nescafe is 8 pesos, di ba? Mas mataas ang price ni Coffee ko and mas mababa yung price ni Nescafe. Ano yung unang titingnan ng tao? Kasi isa lang naman kape lang naman yan. Titingnan nila kung sino yung mas mura. Di ba? For us to determine the demand, ang unang consideration ng mga customer is yung presyo. So, pagbaba daw ng presyo, syempre tataas ang demand niyan. Maraming tatangkilik ng Nescafe compared sa coffee ko. Ibig sabihin daw, pag tumaas ang presyo, kakaunti ang demand. Kapag bumaba ang presyo, tataas ng demand. Now, speaking of our competitions, because economic laws are generally statements regarding the interactions of people and wealth, they are affected by the economic environment in which people and wealth exist. Meron tatlo tayong kinoconsider: the perfect competition, the monopoly, and the oligopoly. When we say perfect competition, of course, it is a situation in which any given product is supplied by a large number of vendors and there is no restrictions on additional suppliers entering the market. Kumbaga, we all have the freedom to enter in the market. Halimbawa, magpo-produce si Robert Paul ng kape. Ang tatawagin niyang Yummy Coffee Paul. No? So si Yummy Coffee Paul, all about the Nescafe, pwede siyang mag-enter ng market. Hindi naman po pwedeng sabihin ni Nescafe, oh Paul, bawal kang mag-ano kasi ganto. Hindi. He has the freedom to enter into the market and no one can restrict him. So that is the perfect competition. Kaya nga kung kayo, mag-create kayo ng isang business and pumunta kayo sa business na walang nag-restrict sa inyo, that's why, yun yung tinatawag natin perfect competition. However, a monopoly is the opposite pole of a perfect competition. A perfect monopoly exists when a unique product or services is only available from a single supplier. And that vendor can prevent the entry of all others into the market. When we say monopoly, isa lang yung nagmamayari ng isang produkto. Unique lang or services. No? Siya lang yung mayroong services or goods na iyon. At walang sino man ang pwedeng manggaya. Kumbaga patented. For example, Google. Google is considered, yung Google ng business is considered as a monopoly. Kasi wala namang pwedeng bumalik sa Google. Google lamang ang mayroong word na Google. No? Wala namang Google version 2.5. Google version 3.9. Diba? So Google is considered as a monopoly. And oligopoly exists when there are so few suppliers of a product or services that acted by one will almost inevitably result in similar actions by other. Actually, that is also considered as a perfect competition. However, ang pinagkaiba lang nila, kakaunti lang yung suppliers na nagpuproduce ng isang serbisyo or ng isang produkto. Halimbawa, services in terms of producing an electricity. Kakaunti lang naman ng supplier. Diba? Si Batelec and example lang ha, si Meralco. Diba? Kakaunti lang yung supplier ng isang serbisyo or ng isang produkto. Hindi naman po pwede lahat papasok on how to create electricity. So, matagal yan. So, those are considered as an oligopoly. Now, in terms of supply, nagdoble lang yan, bali yung aking definition. Ang supply naman is all about the stocks. It is available, yung available product. It is the available product on the market. Yun yung tinatawag natin stocks, no? Kaya nga, ba, ay may bagyo, kailangan natin ng supply ng delata. So we need to stocks. So yung stocks is what we call a supply. So ngayon, meron tayong tinatawag na law of supply and demand. So the law of supply and demand is the theory that prices are determined by the relationship between supply and demand. So the law of supply and demand is based on two other economic laws. The law of supply and the law of demand. The law of supply says when the price is rise, companies see more profit potential and increase the supply of goods and services. Sabi daw sa law ng supply, sa law of supply, kapag daw itumaas ang presyo, ang ginagawa ng mga business owner, itinataas daw nila yung supply. Kasi iniisip nila, marami yung profit na magiging nila. Once itinaas nila yung presyo, itataas din daw nila yung supply. However, kapag sinabi naman sa law of demand, the law of demand states that when the price is rise, syempre, customer buys less or the demand will fall down. So, hindi nila sa law of supply, hindi nila kinoconsider yung demand. Sa law of demand, kinoconsider as the price rise, the law of the demand will falls down. So ngayon, theoretically, a free market will move toward an equilibrium of quantity and price where supply and demand intersects. Ibig sabihin, di ka, sa mga business owner, gumagamit sila ng law of supply and demand by determining the equilibrium conditions of the price where the supply and demand intersects. For example, dito sa ating equilibrium price per cups of cafe latte. Alam nyo, yung mga business owner, hindi naman sinabi nila, oh, milk tea 71. They are considering the law of supply and demand. Kumbaga, tinitingnan nila yung possibility ng cost and then ng demand. No, pinag-intersect nila yun, as well as the supply. For example, dito sa ating diagram as shown here, the demand meets supply. So, meaning to say, this is the intersections. As the price rise, coffee shops are willing to produce more latte drinks. Sabi nga natin sa law of supply, pag taas daw ng presyo, pagtaas din ng supply ng ating coffee shops, ng ating cups. But patrons are less willing to buy for them. So the equilibrium is reached when the coffee charges at $2 per cup. Pansin nyo naman, when the law of demand, when the supply and demand intersects, it has a $2. Oh, lagyan natin ng values. Kung mapapansin niyo, kung ang $2, in terms of supply, ito ay demand. Kung titingnan natin yung demand niya, di ba? Ang demand niya, kasi ang supply tumataas, no? We all know that the supply is tumataas. In $2, ang demand niya is 200 cups per day. Meaning to say, at $2 daw, every day, nakakapag-produce daw ng 200. O, punta tayo sa 250. Sa 250, at $1.5, kung mapapansin ninyo, every day, kaya daw makapagbenta sila ng 250 cups. Ngayon, kapag ang presyo daw natin is $1, kaya daw makapag-produce every day ng 300 cups. And as you can see, and lastly, kapag naman ang presyo is nasa $0.5, kaya daw makapag-produce every day ng 350 cups. Meaning to say, as you can see here, even if the supply is increasing, as the price rise, as the price rise, ano na, as the price falls down, as the price falls down, no, from $2 to 1.5, what do you think the demand is increasing? Alternately, as the price up, syempre kakaunti naman yung demand ng tumataglit. Yung tinatawag natin law of supply or end the demand. Now, yun lang yun yung key takeaways. Considering the four basic laws of supply and demand, mahalaga natin din itong pag-isapan. So sabi dito, price falls when supply increases and the demand remains constant. Now, tataas, bababa daw ang presyo, kapag ang supply ay nag-increase, kapag ang supply daw ay nag-increase at ang demand, supply and the demand remains constant. For example, halimbawa, tagpakwan. Ngayon, maraming mapoproduce na pakwan, diga? Tumataas ang supply ng pakwan. Pero yung demand ng pakwan sa tao, constant yan. Di kapag tumataas ang supply ng pakwan, ang ginagawa ng mga business owner, binababa nila yung presyo para hindi masayang yung pakwan. Yun yung ating first condition. Sabi naman dito, as the price falls down, the price will fall down when the demand decreases and the supply remains constant. Ulitin natin, bumababa daw ang presyo kapag daw ang demand ay bumababa daw ang presyo kapag ang demand ay bumaba, pero constant ang supply. Halimbawa, sa mga naluluging business, sa isang naluluging business, gusto nilang manatili yung business nila. Yung supply ng kanilang produkto, constant. Pero, pero napipredict nila or napapansin nila na bumababa yung demand ng produkto nila. Ano ginagawa ng iba? Pinababaan yung presyo. No, yun yung ginagawa ng mga business owner. The next one, as the price will rise when the supply will decrease and the demand will remain constant. Pag bumaba daw tataas daw ang presyo ng isang produkto kapag bumaba ang supply pero constant ang demand. Halimbawa, electricity. Diba? Constant ang demand niyan. Every one of us, constant ang demand. Everyone, every day, kinakailangan natin. Pag bumaba ang supply ng electricity, itinataas yung bill ng kuryente. Kaya, price will rise when supply decreases and the demand remains constant. Lastly, the price will rise kapag ang demand ay nag-increase pala and the supply will remain constant. Constant yung supply, mataas ang demand, itinataas nila yung presyo. Halimbawa, mataas ang demand sa Christmas. Sa Christmas do, kinakailangan ng hamon. Constant yung supply ng hamon. Halimbawa, constant yung supply ng hamon. Ang taas ng demand ng hamon ng Christmas period. So, tinataas din yung mga presyo. So, yun yung tinatawag nating upper factors, which is ito din yan. Question, pagdating sa atong chapter 1, may question kayo dito? Naiintindihan?
Yes po.
Yes
Sa
po.
sige. Now, let's solve different problems from the very beginning until the end para maging practice ito sa inyong quiz next week. Tama, face to face tayo next week. So, may quiz tayo next week. Okay? Sige, mag-return lang tayo ng mga topics based on our problem solving. And please guys, do not chat GPT. Okay? Maliwanag, walang mag-chat GPT ha. Did I already give you problems? Not yet. Wala pa?
Wala pa po, sir.
Sige, let us try to solve different problems para maging practice sa inyong quiz. And again, walang magre-research ng tanong. Maliwanag, lalo na yung mga chat GPT dyan. Ay ha, okay magtatanong. However, kung sino yung unang makakakuha ng tamang sagot at i-chat sa ating chat box, magbibigay ako ng +10 sa langit and then +1 sa quiz. Take note of Lazal to those students who will give the first correct answer in our chat box. Okay?
Okay po, sir.
Ay ha, tinatawanan niyo yung +10 sa langit pag kayo namatay. Pwede niyo sabihin kay Lord, ako po'y nagkaroon ng +10 sa Econ. Abay, tawa kayo ng tawa. Halimbawa, ang cut-off lamang ng kasalanan na dapat yung gawin sa lupa ay 100. Eh ngayon, halimbawa, namatay na si Lazel. Di ka, Lazel, mamamatay ka naman sa Diyan. Halimbawa, namatay na si Lazel. Eh ang nakomit ni Lazel na kasalanan is 109. Naalala niya, nung siya'y papunta na kay Lord, kinakausap siya ni Lord, Lazel, ang kasalanan mo ay 109. Hindi ka pwedeng pumasok sa langit. Sabi ni Lazel, Sir, Lord, wait lang. Di ba si Sir Kim, may ginawa niyong anghel sa lupa? Ngayon po, binigyan po ako ng +10. Pwede ko po ba yung i-minus sa 109? O di ka 109 minus 10, 99. O, pasok ka sa cut-off ni Lord. O di nakapasok ka sa langit. So, mahalaga din na magkaroon ng +10 dito sa lupa, no? Kaya huwag kayo magre-research ng tanong. Baka mamaya yung +10 nyo sa langit ay may mag-10 kasi nga nandaya kayo. It's not GPT. Ano nga? Maliwanag. Oy, tunay yun ha. Tawa kayo ng tawa dyan. May 100 na yung kasalanan niya, ang cut-off is 100 lang. Napakataas ng +10 sa langit. Take note of that. Sige, tawa kayo ng tawa pag kayo namatay. Baka kayo tatawanan ko sa langit din. Ano nga? O sabi ko sa inyo, kayo magsagot ng mabilis. Tatawanan ko kayo. Siyempre, mauuna pala akong mamatay, no? Kasi tatawanan ko kayo eh. Okay lang. So, sige, let's solve different problem. Wala magre-research ha. It's okay if your answer is wrong. At least you try. I really appreciate those students who try to solve even if it is wrong. It's okay. Kaya nga tayo nag-aaral. Wagi, siya sige. Wagi mapaunahan maglagay ng sagot sa chat box. And then, ipapa-explain ko bakit syempre. Okay. Naiintindihan ang sulat ko? Or kailangan ko pang gandahan?
Naiintindihan naman po.
Sige, babe. Bibilisan ko lang ang pagsusulat ko. Yes. Sige, everyone. Go. Kindly chat your answer in our chat box. May practice na sa quiz ka. Ha? Please answer this one. Please try to answer this one. Other entry. Ay, isa pa lang palang may entry. Sige, more entry pala. More entry. Other answer. Dave, nagpuputol-putol pa ako or nagpuputol-putol ako ng mga panahon nagdi-discuss ko? Tunay. Yan. Sa cellphone lang pala siya pwede. Bawal pala sa tablet. O sige, pahingin ako ng sagot ng aking O7 pit. Ang pinakamamahal na O7. Okay? Thank you, Migs. Adonang and De Castro, but your answer are all wrong. You try again. Other entry. Ramasan, dapat is your answer.
Sir, same lang din po kay kanina, kay Hoson. Nagtatry pa po iba.
You try. Ninya, what is your score? First Ninya. Tama ba ako? May kaklase ko Ninya.
Wait lang po, sir.
Sige. I know your answer. Ha? Nagaling mo sa ikon. Kaya mga pambato ko. Yung pala, lahat naman is pambato. Ako sabi naman ni Mitch, ay hindi ako sinali. O si Miguel din. Okay na sige, someone got the correct answer. And the person, kasi ang unang tao na nakakuha ng tamang sagot ay si Gonzalvo. Sige nga, Warren. May 1 point na to. Can you explain to me how could you derive the 15.38%? Kindly explain to us.
Ano po, sir? Rinig po ba?
Yes po.
Ginamit ko lang po yung formula ng effective rate of interest na effective rate is equals to 1 plus I raised to M minus 1 po.
I want you to attack our problem. Kasi may binigay akong standard formula. Gusto ko dito mo atakihin. Yeah, this one is true. Sabi sa ChatGPT, that is correct. But I want you to attack on my formula. How?
Wait lang. Ano po, sir? Sa-substitute po yung R as 0.012. Then, since ano po, sabi po ay what is the effective annual rate? Ang M po ay 1. Then, ang N naman po ay ang ang N po ay 1 tapos 12 naman po yung M.
Okay. Dapat 1 pa, tapos 12 pa.
Opo.
Sabi mo kasi kanina, the first explanation is that M is equals to 1 because it is annual. Tama? Annual rate. Effective.
Opo.
That is wrong. But the solution is correct. But the explanation is wrong.
Ay,
Who can help Ramos to explain this? This solution. This solution is correct. But the explanation is wrong. And also, using this formula, tama to. That is correct. But I want you to attack our solution here. Now, na-provide sa akin, correct. Pero the explanation is wrong. Anyone who could give me the... Sino gusto mag-try to explain? May gustong mag-try to explain?
Sir, pati nga po ulit po ng tanong. Ayun.
Bakit 0.012 raised to 1? Ang sabi niya kasi, effective annual rate daw siya. That is wrong. Mali yung explanation. Anyone from 07?
sir, monthly ano po yun? Effective monthly interest.
What do you mean?
Yung 0.012 over 1 po.
Can you please expound your explanation?
Ano po, ang pagkakagets ko po kasi ay yung effective monthly interest po ay 1.2%. Then ano po, sa loob po ng isang year, sinubstitute ko lang po, sir, yung 1 since 1 year po is 1.
Tama naman. 1 year is 1. Tama naman. Ganito. Kaya ginawa natin that 0.012 over 1 kasi the problem says it is an effective monthly interest. Meaning to say, ang condition natin is naka-monthly condition na. That's why, monthly condition pa. Kaya naka-1 to. Naiintindihan niyo ako? Kasi gagawin nga natin effective annual. Paano ka maging effective annual to? Since monthly na to, ito times lang natin dito ng 12. Tapos, annual rate, 1 times 12. Maliwanag po kung bakit naging 0.012 over 1. Kasi ang sabi sa problem, monthly condition agad siya. Okay? Pag annual condition, 1.2% effective annual, saka mo pwedeng annual, saka mo po monthly annual nga, saka natin lalagyan dito ng 12 kapag monthly ang hinahanap naman. Maliwanag po. Engineers? Oh,
Yes po.
okay. Now, sige, tama na yan. Problem number 2. Ay ha, i-explain sa ano, why could you come up with that answer? Give. Do not search this one. Nga pala, lahat ng mga fina-flash ko tanong, it came from the board exam. Question. Ito yung mga na-encounter ko before namin sa board exam. And this one is the board exam question. Yung una, board exam question din. This one is a board exam also. Ito ay nung October. Hindi ko na lang sasabihin kung anong year. Baka hindi pa kayo buhay. This one is October 1995. Buhay na ba kayo na to? Ay, di pa nga ako buhay eh. So, di pa rin kayo buhay. Waiting pa. It came from the board exam, October 1995. Audrey, kindly chat your answer in our chat box if you have an answer. Kindly chat an answer if you have. And let us check. Other entry, more entry guys. Roma Santa, what is your answer?
Wala pa po, sir.
Other answer. Okay? So that is wrong. Ninya, what is your answer?
Wala pa po, sir.
Kalinasan mo po your answer.
Sir, wala pa po.
Yun. O sige. Si Nix ang una nakakuha ng tamang sagot. But how did we come up to this solution? Ako na ano. So, given natin is 9.5% and 9.84%. And then, ang required natin here is M. Hindi na naman kailangan ng cash flow dito. And for our solution, so this one is R, this one is ERI. Take note, kapag nag-yield, automatically, ERI siya. And always remember that ERI, or the effective rate of interest, is always greater than sa R. So, ERI is equal to 1 plus R over M times N minus 1. 0.0984 equals sa 1 plus 0.095 all over. M ang hinahanap minus 1 times M minus 1. Since annual yung sinabi, kaya that's why this is 1. So, M is 3.87638172. Take note, when we are dealing of in terms of months, years, days, we need to round up. Lagi nga, always round up. Even if 3.1 siya, you need to round up. Meaning to say, this is approximately 4 months, and 4 months in 1 year is a quarter. Okay tayo dito sa problem na to? Naiintindihan?
Yes po.
Others po.
Opo.
Kasi sige,
Yes po,
11.
sir.
Plus 1 si Migs. And then, ang pinakamaganda, plus 10 sa lang. Okay? So, sige, let us try to solve another one more problem. Is, Again, everyone go. A student who is AD Chenza deposits 1,500 in a 9% account today. AD intends to deposit another 3,000 at the end of 2 years. He plans to purchase in 5 years his favorite vape that is worth 5,000 pesos. Calculate the money that will be left in his account 1 year after he purchases. Okay, other answer. Ay, ganyan ang lalabas sa exam, ha? Other answer. Other entry. Okay, Sasigi. Let's solve this problem on our next online meet. But the answer is 1,300.394996. So, Romasanta get plus 10 sa lang and plus mo sa quiz. So, let us discuss how can Romasanta come up with this answer. Okay? Sige. That's it. If you have questions, may question ba kayo sa ating mga na-discuss today? So, bago tayo mag-quiz, so, may di-discuss pa tayong isa. Then, let's quiz muna. Ano? Question, naiintindihan niyo, may natutunan kayo today. What do you think sa mga problems na na-flash ko today? Dadalwa pa lang yan. Do you think uno pa ang grade? Kaya pang makauno? Kasi ang target natin makauno. So now, after we saw 3 problems pala, do you think your grade still needs?
1.5 na sir, nababa na.
Nako naman, dapat hindi din. Dapat still uno pa din. No, dapat uno pa din.
Uno sa langit sir, pwede pa.
Ayun ang hindi tunay. Hindi ka magiging uno sa langit. At joke lang. Hindi nga, parang walang kasalanan si Nix dito Nakatawa kita ng isang araw, may kasama kang Sige, if you don't have any more questions, can you compare? Hindi na ako nagpututugtog. Hindi na.
Hindi na po.
Yes, sige. That would be all for the day. Thank you so much and see you on Thursday again. Bye-bye guys. Ingat kayo.